They've issued a plan of attack, and they have revealed the list of who will be affected. Many channels are unaware, and I urge them to pay attention because I'm going to reveal to you in this video exactly which channels will be affected by these new policies rolled out by YouTube, their new community guideline for 2023, channels that will be receiving warnings, content strikes, demonetization, and possibly facing the worst outcome of all, total channel deletion. All right, folks, so apparently I've been breaking the rules and they caught me. They busted me. So right here is actually a parking space, and this is where I used to park my Mercedes Sprinter van, my Class B. It's a 2022, I think it's a 2022 American Coach Patriot, and this is not tied to YouTube, but it's actually ironic and very coincidental how they both seem to happen at the same time, which is why I want to share with you guys some very important information, new policy updates, and a list of all the channels that are soon to face ultimately a reduction of their income, limited ad revenue, possible demonetization, and ultimately almost seeing their channels wiped out or potentially deleted. And folks, I can say this with confidence because it almost happened to me, and it has actually happened to me before on previous channels, but that's a whole nother topic and story for another discussion, another video. But it almost happened to me, and so I want to share this information with you because when I read it, I shared it with Squirrel Tribe, and she said, the first thing she says to me was, Kevin, I wonder how many people are going to be impacted by this change that missed this message, that didn't open this email. Now, here's the deal. First, let me tell you guys about my van, my Class B. You know that we did a little bit of a short stint this summer, or past summer 2022, summer 2022, where we spent the summer living in a van, the three of us, Squirrel Tribe, myself, the kid, and we got back and we parked the van. Now, there's a whole other story about that I need to go into and tell you guys about some of the problems with parking the van for so long. So I forgot that the refrigerator was on DC power and not battery power, constantly getting recharged with the solar. So somewhere along the line, the refrigerator shut off, the refrigerator and freezer shut off. And yeah, got a nice little cleaning project, or our first refrigerator replacement project, one or the other. Something
that you don't realize when you first get the van, you think that as long as it's sitting in the sun, it will constantly be charging if you leave the refrigerator on. Like, I assumed that if you left the refrigerator on, solar panel on top was going to keep it charged all the time, even if you didn't start the
Yeah, but
van.
the refrigerator's on DC. The refrigerator's on DC.
And I guess that stopped because we never started the front, so it didn't recharge. Man. All right. Either way, this is disgusting. Oh God, get off my hands. Good thing I got all these 25-cent paper towels while we were in Colorado.
Open it.
All this stuff's gonna come pouring out.
Oh, really?
Look. Oh, you need to be here so you can get it. You ready? It's gonna be so gross.
Oh, that's nasty.
Yeah, you still want me to open it?
Might as well, you already opened it. But ironically, we were leaving a few days before Christmas 2022, and we were headed to Orlando. You guys are aware, you saw the videos. And as we were leaving that morning, we have been planning this trip since Thanksgiving actually. And so as we were preparing to leave that morning, I received a phone call, and it was, my phone has the automatic caller ID, so it said who it was. I recognized the name, so I answered it. Well, it was the administrative office for the apartment complex that we live in, and they say to me, well, do you happen to know who owns the silver Mercedes RV parked in the parking lot? And I said, well, I own a silver Mercedes van. And she goes, is it an RV? I said, it's a van. She goes, but it's a Class B, right? I said, okay, sure. Well, you're not allowed to park RVs here, so you're gonna have to move it or we'll tow it. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, is it really a big deal? Is it a problem? Because it's been sitting parked here for months and it's not in anybody's way. That's the whole reason why I bought it, is because of its simple and easy ability to park it in normal parking spaces. Then she goes on to tell me that, and this has a lot to do with the rules, okay, folks? She goes on to tell me, well, you're only allowed to have one vehicle, so you already have one, so you can't have another one. Now, granted, you're allowed one vehicle. Now, here's the deal. You're allowed one vehicle per tenant on the lease. So I'm allowed one, Scroll Tribe's allowed one also. However, we purchased or we rented or leased the garage space as well. So I feel like you're allowed one in the normal parking spaces, but I have a garage. So I feel like I should be allowed two. Either way, long story short, I'm actually driving down the road right now because I'm headed to the van because I needed to get something out of it, which is part of the problem since it's not parked in the parking lot anymore. If I ever need anything, I gotta go down the street to go get it. First world problems, I know. However, let's talk about the law. Let's talk about the rules. Let's talk about the policy and the changes, because a lot of people have been skating by. I myself was one of them, by utilizing the parking lot to save myself a few $100s a month from having to park my van at a storage facility. I got caught. I got busted, and there was no warning. It was just, it was a slight warning, okay? The warning came in the form of a phone call saying I need to move the van, but I had told her we were actually leaving and heading out of town, and there was no way that I could actually move it for at least 2 weeks after I got back. So anyway, long story short, we came back, I moved the van, yada, 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 that's it. But, however, at the same time, in the same time frame, I received an email from YouTube. It was strange. It was shocking. It was alarming because I didn't expect it. And yeah, it really took me by surprise. And I want to tell you guys why. But first, I want to show you this beautiful view of Crab Island. I don't know if y'all can see it because I can't see, but this beautiful view of Crab Island in its unique form, because there's nobody out, or very few people out today. Obviously, January temperatures are keeping people out of the water, which we saw some people in the water the other day. I don't know if they were like part of the Polar Bear Club or something, but beautiful Crab Island. And there's actually a condo back there. It's like 1.4, 1.5 million. Michelle loves it. She wants to go take a walk and show you guys. But yeah, I want to tell you about this email and exactly what happened, and also hopefully provide some form of help, aid, and assistance to others, other creators, and viewers and subscribers of what could possibly happen next. Stay tuned. All right, guys, I'm gonna tell you where I made a mistake. And this is probably going to be a reoccurring theme that you'll realize in my videos, because I'm not perfect. But I chose not to get the extra $5 a month clicker, and I have to use a card to scan in to open the gate. And this is all fine and good, you know, when It's not raining, pouring, or you know, anything like that. But I'll actually show you what the big problem is leaving without the clicker. All right, I'm not gonna lie, for a minute I got a little nervous because I pulled up and we used to have a spot right here, and I didn't see the van, and then I saw this Revel. I think that's a Revel. What is this? It looks like a Revel, but I don't think it is. So I didn't see mine, so I was like, oh man, what happened? But I realized it's a different spot now, and we're actually next to this giant boat. I think it's a sailboat. All right, folks, here we are. And let me get out here. I want to show you guys. Check it out. Check out the little bounder. But yeah, here we are, and this is the new home for the RV. I don't think I needed my sunglasses on right now. We're shaded. Yeah. So fortunately, there's tons of space here, and you can actually see. Actually, let me show you guys. I think we ended up going with the 40-foot. So what I'll do is I could probably actually back the van up even further, and I could back the van up even further because we got a fair amount of room left here, and I could easily pull the Macan, the Porsche Macan in front of it, and not be taking up space sitting outside there. But hey, check out the flight risk and this old Mini Winnie. Pretty cool. But there's plenty of spaces left here, so that worked out. We didn't find ourselves in a situation where we weren't going to be able to get a spot. And they have 40-foot and 35-foot, I think, or 30-foot. But the price difference between the two was negligible, so it only made sense to get the 40 just in case. And they said that they don't mind if there's more than one use for the space. So it could be the van, it could be a boat, it could be jet skis, it could be a combination. Squirrel Tribe even said if we were to take off and leave out of town for an extended period of time, we could just leave one of the vehicles here if we had to. So it works out pretty well. Actually, let me show you guys from the side. It's been a while since we've been in the van, and Michelle actually reminded me, she was like, hey, are we gonna take the van out again this summer? So apparently, I guess that's the plan. We're gonna go on another road trip over the summer. I'm not sure what direction yet, but I'm looking forward to it. Driving the van here the other day to drop it off, like, just reminded me of how much I enjoy it. But I can tell you guys right now, this place is an absolute mess, and we haven't cleaned it, and it's gonna need a deep clean. It's gonna need a deep clean really bad, especially in the refrigerator. And I don't really want to open it because it's bad. So we're not gonna do that. We'll save that for another video because it's bad. Alright guys, so what I want to do is I want to share with you some personal experiences and some stories to help you guys understand what potentially is coming down the pipeline. I don't know how this cup got stuck here, but they wanted rock and roll, so we got rock and roll. All right, so I want to talk to you guys about what's going on. So as I was telling you, over the Christmas break, I received some notifications on my YouTube channel about some violations that were happening on my channel. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, it freaked me out a little bit. Look at that. I got lotion on my shirt. As soon as I get done getting dressed, I put lotion on it flung off my hand onto my shirt. It's crazy. All right, so folks, here's what happened. I want to tell you what happened. I also want to tell you what I did about it, and also perhaps maybe why it happened and how to prevent it from happening again in the future. That's the problem. It's almost kind of impossible to prevent it again from happening in the future, and here's why. It's because YouTube utilizes a ton of automation, AI, and bots within its algorithm to not only facilitate the recommendations and suggested videos for viewers that help channels grow, but also to enforce their community guidelines to make sure that the channel's content is aligning with the rules and not breaking any of them. Well, my channel had a few videos that actually fell into that category out of the blue. The email that I received, and I'll put it on the screen so you guys can see it, it shows that YouTube has issued a warning or strike against your channel for a particular video. We realize that, you know, it happens and it's a mistake or whatever, so we'll just issue a warning first off. Well, that didn't sit right with me, because I knew that I didn't violate any of the rules, which is very important, and why you need to stick around to the end of the video to hear why it's so important. So when that happens, and folks, if you're not a YouTube content creator and you're thinking to yourself, this doesn't apply to me, well, it kind of does, because this is going to happen like across the board in a variety of different ways, but also it may affect the content creators that you watch on a regular basis, and if they go missing, you may know why. But I also have some steps, a few 7 or 8 plans, strategies, ways to prepare that I want to share with you guys later on in the video. But so when that happens, you're able to apply for an appeal, and this appeal ultimately puts you in front of a human review. So that just lets you know that initially the first warning, the first indication, the first red flag, which ultimately my channel was flagged, or my video was flagged for this, was done automatically by AI. So I submit for the appeal. Now granted, you can go onto the YouTube chat. If anybody has ever experienced YouTube chat, you know it's an entire waste of time. Nothing is ever resolved, and it just makes you more frustrated than when you started. So anyway, I applied for the appeal, and in my experience, YouTube, one, they like to send you these notifications overnight so you can wake up to bad news. And two, they won't respond again until the next day. So don't hold your breath. Just wait to wake up to the next morning, or maybe the 2 next mornings, or however long it takes them to process this to get a response. And ultimately, at the end of the day, I received the following morning a response that said, hey, your appeal has been granted, has been approved, sorry for the inconvenience. This initial first strike was a warning, but since the appeal was granted, the warning will be removed. Well, here's where the problem really starts, is that before that email came through, I received another email from YouTube that said I received a real strike. So here's the reason why I received a strike, and it's because I had already received a warning, and the warning was being reviewed for the appeal. However, the second strike came through, in my opinion, through the automation, through these AI bots, through technology, the algorithm, YouTube magic. The warning came through an hour before the appeal was granted. So the next strike, which should have been a warning since my first warning was approved to be, you know, removed, was a strike. And YouTube's system doesn't automatically adjust for that. So here I am the following day, after having received an email saying that the warning has been removed, I then receive a strike. So when you receive a strike, then you can't post for, I think it's 7 days. For the first strike, you can't post for 7 days. Well, that's a problem, because I like creating content, and I do like the revenue that it produces, and I didn't do anything wrong. Because the second claim was just as ridiculous as the first claim. If anybody wants to know how to manage these claims and try to remove them, just let me know. I'll let you know. So this time I went to the chat and I said, hey guys, can you fix this? You guys just sent me an email that says my appeal for the warning was approved and it's been removed. And now I have a strike that really should be a warning, which is silly, but I'll appeal that one too, and probably tomorrow it'll go away. And the chat starts off with, hey Kevin, great to meet you. Can I call you Kevin? What seems to be the problem? Oh, just a moment. Please give me a few minutes so I can check things on my end. Can you please confirm that this is your channel? Yada, yada, yada. They go through the same spiel every single time. Oh, well, we're going to escalate this to an email, so we're going to close the chat and we'll communicate with you through email. Nothing was accomplished, and I can tell you guys right now, every email I received from that point on was worthless. It was literally like I would have gotten more information asking my dog for help in fixing my channel. So another 24 hours later, the night goes by, I wake up the next morning, I get another email that says that strike appeal was approved and it is gone. So now I don't have a strike, I don't have a warning, I don't have anything, but it was a little bit of a, it was a crappy situation to be in, okay? Which brings me to today and the email that I received from YouTube today. And the email that I received from YouTube today, if I can find it, look, I got a bajillion emails in here and I'm trying to find it. All right, here it is. YouTube, important. New YouTube partner program terms coming this week, okay? Check it out. This is the email that I received from YouTube. So, there's a lot of creators creating content. First one that I saw was Nick Nimmin. And I saw Nick Nimmin at Vid Summit in LA last year. Nick Nimmin provides a ton of information from YouTube for the creator to help channels grow and stay safe. And since then, I've seen a variety of other creators creating content on this particular subject for various reasons. But this email here is the first one that I've actually received. And it says, as announced in September, the YouTube Partner Program, YPP, is introducing new ways for creators to grow and earn money. To make this possible, new YouTube Partner Program terms will start going out in YouTube Studio this week. What's changing? One of the biggest changes is monetizing partners will now be able to earn revenue from ads that will run in the Shorts feed. For more information on updated terms, visit our help center, which is something that I have discussed with you guys, especially the folks in the network, link in the description, because Shorts creators are going to have a great opportunity moving forward to earn revenue from the content that they create. Also, it says, what do I need to do? Well, there's two things you need to do. Starting this week, you'll see a banner in YouTube Studio letting you know when terms are available to review and accept. There's only an option of review and accept. There's no option of review and challenge. It's just accept. If you want to be a part of this program, guess what? You're going to have to accept YouTube's rules. Number one, to start earning from Shorts and ad revenue sharing beginning February 1st, 2023, you'll need to accept new terms before then. If accepted after February 1st, 2023, Shorts ad revenue sharing will begin on the date you accept. And folks, you can believe this, that I will be going through those new terms very, very thoroughly, and I will share with you any important information that I see from it. Second, to continue monetizing as part of the YouTube Partner Program. And this is what is so important for creators to pay attention to. To continue monetizing as part of the YouTube Partner Program, you will need to accept new terms by July 10th, 2023. If updated terms are not accepted, your channel will be removed from the YouTube Partner Program. July 10th, 2023. There's plenty of time, but I can guarantee you there will be some people out there that drag their feet and wait to the last minute, and odds are sometime in June or July, I'm going to post a video with a thumbnail that says July 10th is the date. And everybody's going to be like, oh, Kevin, you keep naming these dates like things are going to happen. Nothing ever happens. Okay, July 10th, 2023. And here's the deal. This is what I think happened to me. YouTube's algorithm rolled out changes and continuously rolls out changes as we see as creators, and you guys see as viewers and subscribers, but you probably think to yourself, man, that's kind of odd. Don't think much of it, but really in the back end, it's YouTube making changes. And so I think that with these changes, the algorithm perhaps maybe was set to its strictest settings, which somehow, some way, some configuration of the content that I created fell into this category that got me flagged and ultimately received a warning and then a strike that were both removed after human review. And here's the problem. There are a ton of new rules and policy changes coming to YouTube that are going to affect a lot of creators. Specifically, a lot of gamers, perhaps maybe folks in the hunting, fishing, maybe even farming and like who deal with cattle and livestock and how to prepare, especially from the standpoint of monetizing that content. And here's the biggest problem overall, especially for the preppers, the prepper channels, whoever you watch, the news channels, Canadian prepper, Alaska prepper, redacted, Southern Prepper 1, City Prepping, Angry Prepper. The list goes on. We got Patrick Humphrey out there. We got Poplar Preparedness. It's not just them, but here's where things can go a little haywire, okay? And if you're not careful, it will ultimately, what in the world is that? 10-12. Sorry about that, guys. We had a little technical difficulties there. But actually, what I need to do is I need to show you guys what I was talking about when it comes to not having the clicker trying to get out of here. So I'm on the driver's side, and granted, if I'm in the van, I gotta jump out of the van, jump down, run around, and then I gotta run all the way over here to swipe the card to get out of the gate. Then I gotta run all the way back and get back in before the gate closes so I can get out. Long story short, I'm probably gonna go back inside and ask them if I can rent that clicker. I think one of the coolest things about living at the beach is like it's always like the weather's always pretty damn nice, but there's always something going on that catches my eye. I want you guys to check this out. This is pretty cool.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
What is this? Are you just for fun, or is it?
No, it's with Erase the Trace and the Arts Alliance of Okaloosa County.
Oh, really?
They hired 12 artists to do 12 storm drains. People from dumping in the drains so much.
Gotcha. Well, that's cool. She's just trying to keep the sewers clean and keep trash out of the storm drains. Pretty effective way of doing it. Okay guys, where did we leave off? Oh yeah, that's right. The big problem is that a lot of YouTubers are going to fall into this trap, this net that the algorithm, the bots, they're automatically going to be doing. And the videos of mine that ultimately got flagged, they were old videos. So I'm thinking to myself, the videos have been up for quite a while. How could there be a problem now? There's never been a problem before. Nothing has changed, but something has changed, and that's YouTube's policy. And this email is just the beginning of the alert of the change and what it means for creators, especially with old content. So basically what it means is that creators are going to have to go back and review and or delete a lot of old content that could possibly fall into this criteria that is either going to cause them to be demonetized and lose ad revenue, or worse, be flagged and receive warnings and content strikes, and ultimately risk their channels being deleted if they receive too many strikes, ultimately deleting their channels altogether, and you and I are unable to find them in the future if they just wind up missing overnight, especially if it's due to a YouTube glitch that automatically hits them and pings them with multiple violations back to back to back before they can even attempt to appeal any of them. Y'all look at the size of these giant cats just getting fat. Folks, I will say that recently I have noticed YouTube doing a lot of strange things out of the blue that just, they seem kind of odd, but now they're all starting to make sense. I don't know if you guys have noticed, you're getting a lot of different content suggested to you, perhaps old content that you used to watch not showing up in your feed, surveys popping up on the screen asking you if this content is good for you, or if you enjoy it, or if you appreciate the recommendation. But I've got a list that I've put together for those channels that are potentially at risk of ultimately suffering the fate of YouTube's, you know, never-ending changes and policy changes coming for 2023. And here they are. So, folks, pay attention, and perhaps maybe even share this video with anybody you think it would be helpful to help them prevent their channel from winding up on this list and possibly being demonetized, collecting content strikes, warnings, or even possibly being deleted. So in no particular order, I'm going to go with the first one on the list is alert your audience. Okay, so what I would do is, what I would recommend is almost essentially what I'm doing now. Perhaps maybe you could title it alert my channel in case my channel gets deleted, or in case I go missing, something to that effect, so people know exactly what it is. But only your most loyal subscribers and viewers are probably going to watch that video. But I would alert your audience, or perhaps maybe continuously alert them throughout multiple videos of the changes that are occurring and what could possibly occur if you were to fall victim to some of these changes that you're unaware of, which I highly encourage all creators to thoroughly review the content policy community guidelines to make sure that you're going to be in compliance with the changes that YouTube is rolling out now, in the future, and all your old content retroactively, because nothing is grandfathered in. Things that once were acceptable according to the old policies may not be anymore, and after the date drops that the changes go into effect, those old videos will be considered, you know, up for grabs as far as being in violation of the new guidelines. Number two, if you haven't done it already, save all of your content, because if all of your content is actually stored on YouTube and YouTube were to delete the content or delete your channel, you're going to lose all your old content. So I know for a lot of creators, that's going to be very important. Perhaps maybe not for all, because some of them are providing daily updates and breaking information and urgent warnings that, you know, after a certain amount of time go stale. So for the creators that do have much more evergreen content that they've put a lot of work and effort and a lot of financial investment into, you may want to secure that. Also, while you're doing that, build a backup plan. And this backup plan could involve multiple channels. How many cats out here? This backup plan could involve multiple channels, which is part of why I was actually at the van today, which is because I have multiple channels. So I not only want to protect my revenues through the content that I create, I also don't want to be extremely vulnerable in any particular situation, which is why I create diversity in pretty much everything I do. So a lot of the other content I create isn't even close to being in alignment with this content. So if this channel were possibly to be in violation for some particular reason, my other channels wouldn't, because they're not all the same. Plus, I have various interests, so I like making different videos. But backup plans could also include content that's being posted on other sites besides YouTube. Additionally, I'll repeat, review the content and community guidelines policy thoroughly. Make sure you understand it. And it's not even similar to laws out in the real world where they are subject to interpretation. You're literally playing by YouTube's rules on their platform, in their sandbox, with their toys, and they can take them anytime they want. And there's nothing you can really do to argue it. Visibility, folks. This is in the YouTube content creator backend in the YouTube studio, and this is where you're able to edit, modify, unlist, create, make videos private, or possibly delete them altogether. And these are going to be things that people are going to really want to be taking close attention to make sure that old content doesn't need to be adjusted, modified, unlisted, made private, or possibly deleted altogether. Also, take consideration for future uploads, because I believe that moving forward, they're just going to get more strict with their policies. So perhaps maybe if you're already on the edge, borderline teetering on the edge of just barely skimping by, perhaps maybe you've already received a few warnings, perhaps maybe you've already seen some limited yellow dollar signs on your monetization for certain videos, certain content. You may want to take that in consideration moving forward if this is a long-term plan for you, your content, your subscriber base, your audience, and everything else that's included there. Also, review others' accounts as far as videos being posted on YouTube or perhaps maybe other platforms with warnings and strikes, and how they could potentially happen to you. Because Kevin Van Voris actually posted a video the other day about deadly conduct law and a 2-year statute of limitations that he has experienced after a police raid at his home because of old YouTube videos that he had posted on his channel years ago. Corey Kenshin received, in his opinion and mine, unfair treatment. And Corey's got 15.4 million subscribers. So YouTube almost doesn't discriminate, but in Corey's sense, they kind of did. But regardless, it almost doesn't matter how many subscribers you have. YouTube doesn't care, which is really odd, because YouTube does rely on the content creators and the subscribers to watch to produce the ad revenue for the advertisers that ultimately pays YouTube their cut. Lastly, folks, secure your income. If YouTube is a primary source of income for you, these policies are rolling out. I urge you to secure your income, make sure you have strong budgets, make sure you're saving money, and make sure you have a backup plan and perhaps maybe some increased diversity to maintain and potentially grow. Odds are, perhaps maybe, worst case scenario, nothing ever happens and you're better for it. But in the slight chance that it does, and perhaps maybe your channel is affected, at least you got something to fall back on.